in this bud form seed capsules just like normal. There's nothing different, but they start forming from the inside of this thing. They just don't open into flowers, and this salvia does the same thing. These seed capsules are ripening now, but these never open. In the spring, it produces buds just like this, but they open up as flowers, and the flowers get pollinated, and they form seed capsules. In the fall, it does the same thing, but they never open. They pollinate inside. That's what makes them cleistogamous, as opposed to self-pollinating, because a lot of plants have flowers that will pollinate themselves, but the flowers open up. Not on the test, but I talked about it. It was on the lab exam, or the lecture exam. You should at least see them. I keep forgetting to bring them in. Okay, so these are all of the 5. The thing over there is, that's the only one that's a corm. And what you notice on a corm is that it's kind of like a bulb because the roots come off the bottom. It's not storing things per se, but it's a solid structure. And it's got one leaf coming out of the top. It's going senescent for the winter, so there's not much there except that corm. And I could store that corm for months and then stick it in the ground in the spring. It would root again. I can keep it in the ground, and those roots will probably die back to nothing over the winter, and it will start again in the spring. The corm is kind of like a bulb in that sense, but it's solid. Bulbs are leaf scales. And so when you look at this fennel thing, this is a bulb. This is not the roots. The roots come out of the bottom of this fennel. These are the leaves, but each one of these things is a leaf, right? And that's a leaf, and this is a leaf, and they all peel off. So this fennel, and a couple other things, you can get anise. Sweet anise is the same kind of thing. This onion, it becomes obvious. All of the energy is coming out of this thing is rotting, but it's not dying. I could get this to root if I put it in the right place. It's using the energy in these modified leaf scales to make this top in the dark in my basket at home. And it will eventually run out of energy. But these are all leaves. So you look at a normal onion, or this scallion, which is a type of onion, it's not a bulb. This is the stem, this hard plate. The hard plate here, the roots come off of the stem, and these are leaves. And the bulb is really, it's in this stem thing, but really the only stem part is the plate, because these are modified leaves. And so on a leek, it's really obvious to see that each one of these things is a leaf, because it forms a leaf on it. Fairly easy on these green onions, but on a typical onion, the leaves that form the plant are in the center of all these leaf scales, and the rest of them function more as an energy storage. So all of these things, and these right here, notice that these are bulbs. They're scaly. This is an amaryllis, this is a rain lily, and this is a native wild onion. If you take a tip off the leaf and chewed it, it would be super pungent. I mean, people grow this, you can cook with them. They're super pungent. But they're onions. It's just a native wild one. That's how your onions look like 100+ years ago before they turned them into those. Okay, so those are all bulbs. That's the corm. Tubers are starchy storage units. So all of these things are. Some of these are just weird, but I like to eat them anyhow. But there's molangas and yams and sweet potatoes, and this jicama is the same thing. I was going to give this to David, but he ran out.
I'll take that if you're not going to eat it.
I'm going to take this home.
That's good. Salad out of it.
But if you never had a jicama, it's great. It's kind of like a water chestnut. No, you peel it. It's kind of like a water chestnut. It's kind of sweet. It's crunchy. It's great in a salad. But this is this is just, the root comes off of here, and the leaf part comes out of here, and this is just a storage unit. So bulbs like these, you know, if you've ever grown a potato or this sweet potato, the roots come off of here. You know, they don't come off the bottom of this. The roots come out of the bottom of that corm. On a tuber, the roots come out of the growing point. So these are, in a way, almost like a rhizome, like that ginger is. I mean, in a way, it's almost like this. The
ginger's a rhizome?
Ginger's a rhizome, yes. Not a root, of course. It's a stem.
Okay.
And that's the ginger right there. The one that's farther is
Right.
is what they look like growing in real life. So when I pull a piece of it off, I mean, I could break this in half and plant this part and eat this part. And when you're growing this as a crop, it's growing all kinds of directions, putting leaves out, and I break part of it off. Okay, so the roots are coming off the base of these stems, and this is just, yeah, that pot is in bad shape. It wants to tip over, so don't worry about it. You can't hurt it.
Is that ginger growing in the pot?
Yes. Ginger's great.
I thought
Most of the ginger you buy is ornamental ginger. It's not the ginger you cook with. That's the ginger you
thought-
cook with.
that was a rhizome over there because of it being so.
This
cranny.
is a rhizome, so
All right,
you're right.
all right.
Good job, Frank. This wax myrtle makes these underground stems. It's underground, so it's a rhizome. You can see how the roots, just like on a fern, it's coming off the rhizome and it's sending stems above ground. So this is a rhizome, just like these are. They just look a little different. These are stolons because they're above ground. So if you ever grow St. Augustine grass, and most people have some in their yard, this stem is above ground. It roots and sends leaves up, and all these things are doing that. So those are stolons. This is turmeric in this pot.
Turmeric?
That's turmeric. That's what it looks like. It's deciduous, so
Must be
it
good for you, right?
loses its leaves. Yeah, it's great. I love fresh turmeric. It's so much better than that dried powdery stuff. And galangal is the same thing as ginger.
Now, what's the difference between a bulb and a woody bulb? Or a bulb?
Well, bulb is always a collection of modified leaves.
Right, but didn't you have a woody bulb
I
up
put
there?
woody in quotes because it's not, I mean bulb in quotes because it's not a bulb.
All right.
Okay? So it kind of looks like that. It has roots coming off the bottom of it like that does. Doesn't have a plate like a bulb does. It's not modified leaves. It's hard and solid. But it's not a storage unit like those starchy things are there.
What are these called? These and these?